Hello interwebs and welcome to Closeup. I'm your host Joe.
And I'm Justin.
It's a brand new day here at Closeup because we're talking about the fourth Spider-Man movie. That didn't make any sense at all, but just roll with it. Okay, and it's a bad pun, and that's how we're starting. I'm not
You gotta
walking
tell me these puns before we start. This is funny.
I'm not walking it back. That was not my
too late.
best work. So, yeah, we're talking about the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, brand new day, Spider-Man 4 to some people. And this will be a full spoiler discussion, as always on this show, if you don't know by now. So I want to start by sharing the text I sent my brother earlier. He's one of the biggest Spider-Man fans I know. He's loved all these movies since we were kids. You know, we both grew up on them together. So I just wanted to reassure him. I said, update. Spider-Man might be one of the most Marvel films to ever Marvel. It feels a crazy amount like the recent video games, with a healthy splash of Sam Raimi drama / comedy balance, and some Ultimate Alliance video game team-up craziness for good measure. So basically, it's great.
That is a very accurate assessment. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
It's got flavors of all the best Spider-Man stuff I've ever consumed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because let's break that down a little bit. I don't know where you want to start.
I have no idea.
Let's start with furthest back. Let's say the Sam Raimi stuff. I feel like this movie is very much tonally in line with the old Tobey Maguire movies. It feels a lot more, Sam Raimi to me is one of the masters of tonal balance. His movies are exceptional at balancing drama and comedy, where the drama can hit you like a truck, but it's keeping you laughing most scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this movie did very well riding that line, because Peter is going through a very serious emotional isolation, but also your average scene, he's still quipping, cracking wise. It's funny. There's a lot of great humor in this movie. So it felt to me a lot like that. Whereas I feel like the last three lean more into the humor side and then had their dramatic moments towards the third act more often. The Andrew Garfield movies lean more into drama, for sure.
I think going into this movie, that's what I expected, was more of a tone along the lines of an Andrew Garfield movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like since Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man movies have skewed tonally one way or the other, and this one found that balance I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Not since Spider-Verse. I'll say Spider-Verse did it, but talking about the live-action ones. Now I want to find Brand New Day director. I don't want to mess up his name. Destin Daniel Cretton. He also directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is one of my favorite Marvel movies of the last 7 years, except for the third act. And I feel like he brought that same energy here. I love the way we're still kind of in overview form here, but I love the way he directs fight scenes, because it also felt a lot like the Insomniac games. There were some moves specifically that I'm like, that's right out of the freaking game, man.
Exactly. Like down to like the one that caught me off guard the first time was the down pull web. I was
when he knocks Scorpion to the ground and
or like the
body slams him.
The two pull for like a launch from the ground. I'm like,
or like the very first scene when he jumps on top of the rooftop, beats up all the bad guys, and then hangs them off the side when they fall off.
Yeah, and like a quick, like swift motion of everything. I was like, wow.
This is a live action Insomniac game. This is
pretty
nuts.
much.
And my other point was,
even Hulk did like the Hulk clap.
Yeah, he did the thunderclap. And then my last point there was the Ultimate Alliance games, which, that was one of the only Marvel games I ever played as a kid, was Ultimate Alliance. And that's where your team of Marvel heroes got to do combo moves and team up, and you could play Spider-Man and Wolverine together and do stuff like that. So it felt like, oh, we're just existing in the Marvel universe now, and he's teaming up with the Punisher, he's teaming up with the Hulk, he's Spider-Man fully integrated into this universe, doing combos and having friends, and we're going to team up and rob Damage Control. And I'm like, this feels like a very classic Marvel project.
Actually, I think this was the most relaxed like the MCU's ever been for just like having casual interaction between the characters. They just exist in the world together, and it felt really natural, actually.
He goes to Yelena of the New Avengers just to chill in her hot tub in the Spider-Man in his underwear outfit from the games. And all right, so he's meeting Black Widow to get some information. He's going to Banner for a bit of science advice. He's going to the Punisher when he needs somewhere to lie low for a little while. And
it just felt more natural. Like in previous movies, it's like, okay, you see Iron Man shows up with like at Doctor Strange's front door, and you're like, whoa, this is a little strange, but
he's teamed up with somebody basically every movie. In the first one, it was Iron Man. In the second one, it was Nick Fury. In the third one, it was Doctor Strange. Now it's multiple people. But these Spider-Man movies have always given him world connections.
Mm-hmm.
But this did feel the most organic, I agree. It's, yeah, I love the idea. Like, this feels like the classic Marvel I grew up with. Like, in my notes here, the word that keeps coming up over and over is classic. Because other ones feel like, oh, this is Spider-Man in a modern context. It feels like a spin on the Spider-Man character, where he's kind of in a process of becoming Spider-Man in some way or other. Oh yeah, he's got the costume, but he doesn't have the confidence yet. He's not really on his own, and Tony Stark kind of handholds him for a while, and then he's got to share screen time with his other selves to learn how to be a better version of himself, and learn great power, great responsibility. It's all good stuff, and I enjoyed it. But this is like, we're starting the movie right away where Spider-Man's he's a broke guy living in an asbestos-filled apartment. All his friends have abandoned him. He's self-isolating, but also he's got his own handmade costume, and he's developing new gadgets. He's saving the city. He's getting the key to the city of New York. New Yorkers love him. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I really loved that scene where it's like, oh yeah, he's got the key to the city and he's sitting there with it in his hands. Like, it was just the comparison to like the people on the TV. They're like, oh, Spider-Man's the best. He got the key to the city, and then he's just like this depressed guy in his apartment holding on to the key to the city. Like,
yes,
I like that contrast. I forgot about that scene. That's why I was like, I'm going to put that in right here because...
yeah, that's definitely a good call. And, just palling around with other Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. It just felt like... Oh, and he's also got his Rogues Gallery pretty much formed off screen. We got Shocker glove gauntlets in the damage control building. We've seen him... he's just fighting Scorpion, who's just Scorpion now. Tombstone. And all the other villains he fought beforehand, and he's already had relationships with them. He's bantering with them like they fought multiple times already. This is just back to basic Spider-Man in every way. It didn't need a cinematic universe calamity. It didn't need to be like, oh, Spider-Man's in space now. Spider-Man's time traveling or a multiverse rift again. It's just the whole thing is set in New York City. And it's just Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff. This is, like, it not only feels like the most classic Spider-Man movie we've gotten in the last 20 years, it feels like one of the most classic Marvel projects. It doesn't feel like MCU Marvel, it feels like pre-MCU Marvel to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel I remember before the MCU coat of paint took over everything, including the comic books. Like, this is what I remember this feeling like before. As a universe, as a cohesive universe. I'm like, yeah, there was Tobey Maguire, but that was a standalone Spider-Man. That was Spider-Man if no other heroes existed. This is how I remember him feeling like he interacts with other people at the time. Like I said, more Ultimate Alliance style. This is just a universe, and you're a character in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved all that.
Can I talk about things I didn't like?
Yeah, go for it.
because I just thought of it when you were talking. One of my major issues I had with the movie was the reliance on flashbacks. There was a lot of screen time that was like constant flashbacks, and I'm like, do we really need, like, can we let the scene breathe and just let the acting tell the story a bit? I understand like one of the later ones where Jean Grey is in the flashback. Okay, yeah, I get that one. That one was important. We needed it, but there was a lot of times where it's like, okay, do we really need to see a flashback of him hanging out with his friends?
Yeah.
Now,
I have some mixed opinions on that. I see where you're coming from, and I agree from a technical perspective. There is a more efficient and immersive way to do that. But also, I have a history of watching some soap operas that have really long histories. And whenever I watch those, it's always a treat when they pull something out of the vault that's really old. I'm like, oh, wow, this actor is like in their 50s, and now they're pulling out something of them in the 1970s when they were a teenager still on this show, same actor. And this is a 10-year-long run for this character. So it is kind of fun sometimes to see flashbacks of him of, oh, this is a universe with history. We've seen these guys go from high school age characters to where they are now. And it's
I get that, like
kind of that comparing and contrasting.
When it's so long range, but we're talking flashbacks from the movie that is
Just previous.
context for this movie.
Yep.
We're talking one movie previous, and it wasn't that long ago that it came out. There hasn't been that many Marvel projects in between.
It was about 5 years ago, but
yeah.
But yeah,
But it's the context movie for this movie. If you don't remember that movie, you should have rewatched that movie before coming to see this.
totally fair point.
So to me, I'm like, if you were throwing in flashbacks from further back, like from like the first movie, yeah. But you don't need that. Like if you want to show that Peter's, he's missing his friend. Well, the first thing he did was he touched the Lego in his room when he was like in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
He was like touching the Lego in his room to be like, okay, there's a callback to, from the very first movie, they were playing with Lego together all the time.
They were trying to build the Death Star.
But they didn't need a flashback there, and they didn't use a flashback there.
But
there were some spots that they did do stuff like that. And I'm like, there's better ways to do this. Like, it just felt like a bit of a cheat to me.
Fair. No, I understand that. It didn't bother me personally, but
I just think it padded the runtime, that's all.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see more, especially a movie where Tom Holland is in the mask for most of the movie. I wanted more room for him to just act the scene and show it through the acting.
Mm-hmm. You want to double down on that point, or would you rather talk about more criticisms first about him being in the mask and all those themes?
No.
Or some more critiques?
That's pretty much my main critique of the movie, really. There wasn't that much else I didn't like. It was just that.
Actually, my main critique does tie in. So I'll start with that and spin off into them. So my main critique, it started with like pacing issues. The middle to me felt a little bit long, the second act. And the third act at first felt tacked on because I was like, okay, Jean Grey is captured. They got her out. And he's hanging out with MJ and Ned again. Oh, this feels like a pretty good place to end the movie. Oh, but wait, there's like 20 minutes more. Because he's got to go save Jean Grey. That at first I'm like, do we need this in this movie? But then the third act came around because I realized that that's where all the themes converged, was during that sequence. And that's where I finally understood what the movie was telling me this entire time. Because that is another problem I was having is, so this movie is feeling long because there's too much going on, arguably, on first viewing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so first we have, he's isolated and he's missing his friends and he's married to his job. He talks to the cop and doesn't know anything about her even. But he just works all the time. He's Spider-Man, and then he's a lonely, depressed guy in his apartment. And there's basically no in between. And then there's the second plot line of, oh, there's a telepathic something blowing up damage control things, freeing prisoners, causing general havoc, looking for something. Okay, so I'm isolated and alone, and there's a bad guy. Okay, that feels like decent superhero movie stuff. You have a personal issue, you have a outer threat. And then you have this bit of him mutating, and you're throwing this plot line in now. And that plot line didn't come in for like 40 minutes.
I know, that was late into it too.
And I'm like, oh, so now you're dealing with a second personal issue of mutation. And that's, holy crap, I didn't even pin that down. He's dealing with a mutant and he's mutating too. Like, yeah, so I guess they link as mutants now.
Well, also, you're saying two personal issues, but you've got a Peter Parker issue and you've got a Spider-Man issue.
Fair. Yeah, that's a good point. So at the time, as you're watching this movie, I'm thinking, there's 3 different plot lines here, and it maybe should have focused up. But then we hit that third, and then I'm like, oh, and then the third act is dragging out. Until the ending, where it all started coming together, and I realized what the movie was trying to tell me this whole time. It's about balance. It's about, it's about trying to not repress any parts of yourself. Because Jean Grey made a point about something along the lines of special people don't get to have friends or family. Because when you're different, you're always going to be isolated in some way. She's a mutant. She's experimented on because of her abilities. No matter what she does, she will basically always be hunted down. Spider-Man can't just be Peter Parker because everyone's always going to see him as Spider-Man. If he's not Spider-Man, he's a nobody. So it's like you can't have the special thing and just be a normal person. And Peter's trying to reject that. In the end, he says, no, I am Peter Parker and I am Spider-Man. He can be a normal guy with family and friends. And he can also be the superhero that New York loves. You can have both. You don't need to choose a life of isolation to be the hero. Which is,
you know what I'm clicking into is that that is the negative way of looking at with great power comes great responsibility.
That the responsibility
power is so great that is your entire responsibility.
It consumes everything.
But in a way, you have to kind of take it and be like, okay, you know, you might think, oh, directly the power, whatever power I have to do is my responsibility, but also you have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, you have other things that you need to balance that responsibility. With great power comes with normal responsibility, but also responsibility. It's not just the responsibility of Spider-Man, it's also the responsibility of Peter Parker tagged on top. Maybe that's what the great responsibility is that you're not just taking one piece of, you're taking a double dose of responsibility. It's great responsibility almost.
You have the same responsibilities as a normal person to be good to the people around you, be good to your loved ones, and always self-improve. You have to be the best version of yourself you can be. We all have that responsibility. But with great power, we have even more people's burdens on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be the best you can be and also carry the weight of others.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter can't carry his own weights in this movie. He's trying to carry the weight of everybody else and lets himself crumble.
Yeah, and I think that might be his interpretation at first of the line of great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it, is that he's taking that too hard and doesn't really understand it. And maybe the flashback to the line is she's specifically telling him, he's like, yeah, I get it. And she's like, no, you don't. I just realized that. She kept telling him that, like, no, I don't think you do understand it.
Yep. And I can't even remember exactly her spin on it, but I do remember when she was saying to Jean Grey, whose own mother abandoned her because she was different, that normal people can still love you even if you're different. You don't have to be going through this alone. You're different. People are always going to see you as different. Some people will be monstrous towards you because you are different, but that doesn't mean you have to be alone in that. There are people who will support you and take you in as family. Normal people with normal amounts of responsibility. And I love that it made Jean see, oh, well, my own mother abandoned me, but Spider-Man, who I've had some preconceived notions about, he had family who loved him. She was just this normal woman who raised this great guy all on her own for a long time after Uncle Ben died. And she loved him. She accepted him for all his flaws and superpowers. And, oh, maybe there can be another way. Maybe if I just find a family, maybe I'll go to boarding school.
Find a found family.
Find a found family. Go to boarding school for people with other extraordinary abilities like me.
What are you saying, Joe? We're gonna get the third try at Dark Phoenix?
A school for the gifted or something. Yes. Yeah, we'll see Sadie Sinks Dark Phoenix. Eventually.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now, I also did like the visual symbology for all these themes, where it's, well, the first thing is he, going off of what you said earlier, he wears the mask for 80% of this movie. And he's very adamant in most scenes not to take the mask off in front of other people. The only times you see Peter Parker, besides when he lost his suit and he had to go in through the laundry room, that's basically the only time we see somebody else see Peter Parker's face in this movie.
He
okay,
goes to parties, but he always uses an alias every time he goes out as Peter Parker. It's not as Peter Parker. Never once.
Okay, that's fair.
He always made up a name.
That's fair. But he's basically Spider-Man and a guy alone.
Yeah.
And as Spider-Man, he's, the best version of himself out there. But I think it's a very smart choice in that last fight. It shorted out his eyes or something, and he couldn't see correctly, so he needed to take the mask off. And that whole fight, it was like, oh, he's Spider-Man, but unmasked. He's finding the balance. And also there was his inhibitor chip that he had, and it was constantly showing the balance between human and arachnid. And when they're talking about when Jean Grey is lecturing him on, your special abilities and you're always going to be different, so just embrace the fact that you're different, and you can do the isolation thing. You're pretty much doing everything right, and I'm going to do the same thing. That's when it clicked into me. Oh, the human arachnid balance is really a Peter Parker versus Spider-Man balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's out of whack. The arachnid keeps getting out of control because Spider-Man's winning. He's not letting...
I did like that there was the constant through line with basically every character was like, hey, your body's telling you something. Like from the cop to Banner to Zendaya to...
Even the Punisher.
The bad guy, the villain of the movie is even telling you, hey man, like, there's something wrong with you. Maybe you need to figure that out.
Even the villain, the villain's the only one who tells him to commit to the other side. Like, oh yeah, commit to the Spider-Man side because you're special.
MJ also was like maybe, what did she say? Maybe it's just, no, that was Banner said maybe it's something that needs to be expressed, or no, was that MJ? MJ said that one.
I remember Banner saying...
Banner said, nature is doing something that it's supposed to do, essentially.
Peter's trying to repress the bad parts of his mutating DNA, and Banner says, effectively, who are we to decide what the bad parts of nature are? It's something that's occurring within you, and I think you're right. He did say maybe it should be expressed.
And then MJ also said something about... letting it be, basically letting it do the thing it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
She also said that. The cop, what did she say at the beginning? Oh, the cop was the first one to be like, "Oh, you got headaches, but maybe your body's trying to tell you something." And it's not. So pretty much from the first interaction that dealt with that, it was listen to your body.
Yep.
You need to figure out what's going on, but your body's trying to tell something. There's something natural going on that you need to listen to. But he constantly, every step along the way, is pushing that away and trying to ignore it and repress it.
He's
to the point where he's using his advanced scientific knowledge to be like, go away.
which I guess you could argue is a metaphor for self-medicating. He
self-diagnoses the problem.
He's depressed and repressing his inner loneliness and focusing all of his attention on work, and then he tries self-medicating with, this sci-fi explanation of, all right, he's a genius who can suppress his DNA, aka the bad parts that are trying to get out, which keeps not working because he doesn't understand the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's not his best self when he's repressed, and when he lets it all out, he causes some pretty serious emotional damage. Like, he nearly beats the Scorpion to death. He injures a cop when he goes black-eyed and lets the arachnid side win. Because he's a force of nature at that point. He doesn't have the emotional willpower to temper himself.
No, he just keeps pushing it down.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to,
he pushes it down, and then it comes out and he blows up. And then later on, he can find that balance of, wait a minute, I can have my rage power that nature's giving me, but it doesn't need to be when I'm feeling terrible. I can control this.
mm-hmm.
And have the best of both. Nature gave me strength, but my upbringing and my humanity is giving me a way to channel this to something constructive. It doesn't just need to be it doesn't need to be a destructive force.
Well, and it really, too, comes down to he's like hiding behind the mask. Like, I think Punisher had a line where he's like, "Why you gotta wear a mask all the time?" I don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's the point of wearing the mask if you have nobody and nothing?" Like you say.
I like the scene with him and Frank Castle where he all but spelled out that the Punisher is a potential dark version of Peter Parker if he keeps going down this path. The Punisher is super paranoid and always alone and traumatized by the family that he lost to the point where he can't even talk about them anymore. He's living all alone on that boat, doesn't want any visitors. His entire life is the mission: kill criminals, no personal life.
Does he even have an alter ego either? Is
No.
he just the Punisher all the time?
Yes, all the time. Frank Castle, and when Frank Castle's alone, he's basically just...
He's still the Punisher?
He's still the Punisher, but just more depressive and, going over his trauma constantly about his family being killed and how he couldn't save them, and mulling over the vengeance that he wants to get on the people who got them killed, which at this point in the story, he already killed everybody who had anything to do with that. That was what the last Punisher special was about, is he already killed everybody, and then he was going to kill himself because he had no more purpose. And then he bounced back and was like, no, my purpose is to keep killing criminals. So that's what he's still doing. So he's going to punish the wicked. That's his thing. But yeah, the Punisher is this version of... The Punisher is Spider-Man in this movie on the darkest road possible if he keeps up this path of self-isolation and dedication to the mission above all else. The Punisher has no balance. And,
He's completely out of balance.
And, I know this story can be broadly appealing, but I tend to see it as parable for what it's like to be a young man in the modern world, where we want to try our best, and we have a lot of strength, which when we use it inappropriately in public places can get you in a lot of trouble. So you're always repressing yourself to an extent. A lot of young men choose work and focus above meaningful relationships. Yeah, we talk to people, but it's always more in a, like he treats the cop. It's like business. We don't really let people in. We talk to people. We can go to parties, but we don't, share a life. That's what a lot of young men are doing right now. And then he looks at Punisher, who's an older man with more traditional ideals, and this is the kind of figure that he can see as like, oh, this is what another generation ended up like, following a path like this.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, this leads to a more toxic masculinity side of things if you keep going down this way. Like, yeah, the Punisher is effective, but he's not somebody you want to hang around. He's good at his job. He's a soldier through and through. He'll kill the bad guys. He'll do good, but he's not really a good man. And he doesn't really consider himself a good man either. Whereas Peter Parker, he's got to find that balance where you can be powerful and do a good job and help other people and help your community, and also be in touch with your emotions at the same time.
Punisher cried at the end.
And Spider-Man saw it and laughed. Are you crying?
The Punisher learned he could be vulnerable with his emotions, and Peter Parker immediately took that and went, ha!
That's funny.
Toxic masculinity was right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But they both laughed it off, which is nice.
And he danced and did his thing pretending to be Spider-Man. That was funny.
The Punisher and the Spider-Man mask is freaking hilarious. So yeah, so it's a heavy movie in a lot of ways, but I also enjoy that it's also just a really fun movie at the same time. Like, this movie made me feel like a kid again watching Spider-Man.
Well, I think a lot of that comes down to the look as well. Like they really went in a different direction for like the color grading, and
It's
just
vibrant.
It felt different. It felt even
the shots of the city-wide landscapes felt like a stylized comic panel.
Yeah, it was really nice looking. And also the suit. They let the suit be finally without
This is so good.
oh, we can have wrinkles in the suit. Oh my god. We don't have to CGI it to make it like perfect.
It's a gorgeous suit.
And it's perfect. It's amazing.
Every other one looked kind of fake on camera.
Well, but it was. They were CGIing every wrinkle out and making it completely 100% form-fitting. Like,
yeah,
that always bothered me. In this one, even in the trailer, like I saw the trailer and I'm like, there was a wrinkle in the suit. Oh my god, are they gonna leave him alone for once?
I don't know if it's the best suit or if it's the second best suit. Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a great suit.
I will say that during this movie, I certainly missed the reflective eyes.
Okay.
The reflective eyes, I sat there and I'm like, which one had reflective eyes? Oh, Amazing Spider-Man had reflective eyes. It was like the scene where the Hulk was like right in his face and we were looking at Spider-Man and Hulk was like over top of him. And I'm like, that would have been a perfect time to be able to see the reflection of the Hulk in his eyes. Because we're like pretty much in Spider-Man's face.
Right.
Mostly on the mask. And I'm like, oh.
I think Tobey Maguire had reflective eyes too.
Did he?
I feel like or maybe they were just stylized shots where you can see from his perspective. Anyway,
I don't remember. Yeah.
now the thing I do like about Tom Holland's eyes is that even though the suit looks more practical, but his eyes are so expressive.
Yeah, the expressiveness is really good.
And he's in the suit so much in the movie. I really noticed it this time. Wow, the suit really does a lot of heavy lifting and expressions. Like, his body language is 90% of it. But the fact that the suit can emote as well, I'm like, this, once again, classic Spider-Man. I can tell what the guy is thinking just from his body language and posing and the eye expressions.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think they've ever let the suit tell the character so much before.
Well, he in the other movies, he's constantly taking the suit off because it was easier.
Yeah. Or even in the old movies, his mask would get torn to shreds or something.
Yeah.
At some point in the final battle. And he did lose it in the final battle for thematic reasons this time, so I accepted it. And he'd been in it the whole movie. But yeah, as for like making me feel like a kid again, there was a point in this movie where I had to kind of stop to remind myself what I'm watching here. I'm like, wow, 20 years ago, I never would have imagined that I'd be in a theater watching the Punisher rush into a building, shooting Hulk in the face with Spider-Man running interference, and the Hulk is mind controlled by Jean Grey in another room.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the scene where I'm like, this is one of the most Marvel movies to ever Marvel. And I know there's, Infinity War and Endgame are pretty big deals. Oh, there's massive Avengers wars going on in Wakanda and space and Thanos and snapping out half the light. Like, that's great stuff. I loved it. But this felt like the perfect low stakes Marvel that I remember, where it's just like 4 iconic characters from the Marvel universe just having a fight in a building. I didn't need universe ending stakes to be riveted by that.
Mm-hmm.
Just having the Hulk, just having the Punisher machine gun Hulk in the face was enough for me to be like, this is freaking awesome, man.
Speaking of the Hulk, finally, they made him not a joke this movie.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, Banner was...
Oh.
This is the best Banner's been since Age of Ultron.
Oh, man. I was very pleased with that because I always liked... I don't particularly like Hulk, but I like Banner a lot. He's probably the character I look forward to the most and am always let down. I'm like, no.
Okay, I lied. He was good in Ragnarok, but he was mostly Hulk in that movie.
Well, and that's the thing is that's my problem is it's not like Hulk can be funny. That's fine.
Yep.
Banner can be funny. He is funny in this movie too. Not as much as in Ragnarok, but it's when you go further and you make him the butt of the joke, where they're basically just making fun of him.
I think the only time... It's been a long time since I felt genuine chills of when he was complaining that, I think she broke something in me, and he's telling everybody to get out of the building, and he's going Hulk. I'm like, I haven't been scared seeing him go Hulk in over a decade.
And that was really cool that, something... I'd have to see it again to verify this, but I'm pretty sure that he started as the Hulk in that scene, and they beat it out of him, and then he got free.
Yeah. He was kind of a Professor Hulk with a mind control on him.
Yeah,
right,
he wasn't very big, but he was still pretty much a full-size Hulk.
He was an average size Hulk.
Like he was there. He was Hulk, and then he went really, really big afterwards when it was like, okay. And I was like, okay, yeah. She can trigger him to become Hulk by mind controlling him, but really the Hulk's power is in his anger.
Well, that's why Spider-Man was like, you don't know what you're doing messing with this. You can't mind control the Hulk.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously she could force him into being the Hulk.
But once he's Hulk, he's Hulk.
When he's sitting there, it's not even, I find that it's not always been his anger.
It's a strong emotional trigger.
Banner is in this scene. I'd say if we're gonna say it's anger with himself. He's panicking about the damage that he's done, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like, obviously, this has destroyed anything in his life now.
My inhibitor's gone,
and he's like looking at the carnage. He has no idea what he's done. All he knows is he lost absolute control. He
And
has
last
no
time-
idea if he's killed people.
Last time he lost control, he leveled a city
Yeah. Like,
and had to leave the planet entirely because of the embarrassment and the stigma on him after that. It was, what did I do this time?
yeah.
Who did I hurt?
And that genuine fear and strong emotional reaction pushed him to be big Hulk, like really big.
I love the scene when they're wheeling him out in the ambulance after, and his only question is it just me? Am I the only one being taken away here? It's not for him. It's for
I'm getting in the ambulance. Is anybody else?
yeah.
No,
It was his
no.
concern for everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I'm the one being carted. Nobody else. No other casualties. And then he could relax a little. But yeah, this is, and also, you know, Banner wasn't a joke before that. He was genuinely fostering a question from a curious fake student.
I mean, his students in the class were kind of picking on him a little bit, but he was whatever.
All right, kid, you answer. Hulk smash!
Yeah. But that was fine. That wasn't truly making him the butt of the joke.
No.
That was like fun banter, I guess.
Yeah. It was,
But he was serious throughout this movie. He actually got lines that are memorable, and that has always been something that Mark Ruffalo has done well. Is he's delivered some of the most powerful lines in the MCU.
when he gets good scripting.
When he gets good screenwriting, he is by far. I think out of all the actors in the MCU, I think Mark Ruffalo is probably one of the best, if not the best. Especially for delivering really hard-hitting, dramatic lines. He is...
Look, as far as MCU actors go, Mark Ruffalo is one of the only ones where I can watch his other movies because he's done such a variety of dramatic roles.
Mm-hmm.
I can see some of them. Like, he just did another movie with Chris Hemsworth called Crime 101. And they were both good in that. Chris Evans did the first Knives Out movie. Chris Evans is really fun when he's playing just jerks. He moved away from Captain America entirely and just basically has been playing jerks for the last decade. Scarlett Johansson's had a pretty solid career overall. She's been in quite a bit. Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor who's had not the best of luck. Like, Oppenheimer was probably the best I've seen him since Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, amazing performances, doesn't always get the best movies.
Yeah, I personally think Mark Ruffalo
is the most consistent.
Yeah. He's consistent. Like, anything he's in, you know he's going to deliver a good performance, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's why it always disappointed me when they're like, yeah, let's throw him in a Marvel movie, and it's just like, you can almost tell that even he's like, not feeling it.
This again.
He's like, oh, great. Okay, I'm the butt of the joke. All
again, right. Great. Can Hulk be cool again? I mean, nothing's to this day has ever topped the, that's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry. Punches a ship down into the dust.
What was the other one? He's like something, something, something without even turning a shade.
Well, I can't remember.
I think that was in the first one as well.
Hmm.
He was basically like, I can kick your ass without even turning a shade or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a line like that, or
the Avengers. He was so good in the Avengers.
I don't know. I gotta rewatch those ones. Now because of this movie, I want to go rewatch the ones where I'm like, yes, Hulk was good. I want to rewatch all those ones now because
yeah.
I'm like, yay, he's back. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Finally.
And I appreciated, you had a comment when we left the theater about how basically nobody was the butt of the joke this time. You were talking about Hulk specifically, but it was also like, no, it's true. Nobody.
Well, I said the Punisher was the closest, but he wasn't the butt of the joke. He actually played comic relief, surprisingly.
This movie had a lot of comic relief without punching down on anybody too hard. I felt like every character was well respected, but everyone also got a moment to shine and for humor. Like, arguably, I don't know, Ned was the closest one that was almost purely comical, but even then, not like, okay, I'm gonna hide from my poster and my Spidey tracker, but he's still like earnest. He's thinking, yeah, somebody I probably know saved me a bunch of times back in high school, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm a fan. And then we'll see it's, the teacher, Flash Thompson, is what I've narrowed it down to.
I defend that, though. I defend that. I was explaining that to you earlier today. I'm like, okay, if you think about it, if you take Peter out of all of those equations, the teacher and Flash were the only ones left who were at all those places with him that aren't females.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, unless you're going to say that Spider-Man's a woman, but...
Unlikely.
Unless
they're using a voice
so he's
changer.
Like, well... And that's why even he's like, I know, you'd think it's ridiculous if you knew them, but it's the only thing that makes sense. He's left with no option. He literally got Peter Parker, the actual option, like whited out and redacted from all the documents. Yeah. So it's like, that is kind of a logical conclusion.
If you had to break it down and not know any better, yeah.
With a complete option missing. It's pretty good. It's like playing Guess Who, but somebody took away the actual character. Like the character's not even on the board.
So how do you feel about how they handled Ned and MJ?
I really liked that we kind of got both. They played on the expectations, and especially when I could hear the audience, and I knew that I'm like, they're like, oh, MJ's back, and I'm like, and it was too early in the movie too. When it's like, oh yeah, okay, it was a kiss that brought her back. I'm like, that does not feel earned.
No, I got to be honest here. That scene didn't get the impact for me it gave everybody else because I misheard her. Because everyone started reacting early. I thought she said Maynard instead of Peter.
You were like, wow, she fell in love with that guy at one party because he brought flowers?
Because that was the first time she saw his face. Like, she took off the mask afterwards, and I thought she said Maynard instead of Peter because everyone was reacting already. I'm like, and then I realized afterwards why are they all reacting? Oh, I misheard. Got it.
Oh. I was like, that doesn't feel earned. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I know why. I clued in a little bit early, and I'm like, I'm hearing the audience, they're all happy. I'm like, they're going to be so disappointed in a second.
And I love how you could tell the vocal deflation in that room as soon as the twist hit.
Yeah. And then when they had MJ's actually finding out scene, that was very well done. It was pretty heavy hitting.
It was the Chekhov's gun that I didn't see coming, that he left the letter in the room.
I didn't catch that one. I did not see that coming. That was like, that is so bad.
You left her alone on the boat, and of course she's going to snoop around.
Yeah.
That was, it was the fake out, and then the unexpected actual reveal.
Yeah. And then that scene was pretty hard hitting.
That was a very good dramatic scene.
But I'm very glad that they didn't go with the way that most people would be like, oh yeah, they're going to get back together. No, I'm actually really glad that they didn't.
And I mean,
I told you before we went in the movie, I'm like, if they get back together, I guarantee you it will not feel earned. In one movie, it's not possible.
Yeah.
It will not feel earned. But they did it with Ned.
They did it with Ned.
At the end, but you know what?
That did feel earned.
Yeah. And having, like, especially after the scene where they were, like, building Legos together again, she's like, oh yeah, you guys really do seem like best friends. And it was like, he was friends with Ned for so long that it's like, okay, that one actually makes sense, that it's like, okay, he's got the muscle memory of this
handshake, that he has no idea how he knows how to do this handshake, but it's like, I wouldn't do this if I didn't know you.
Mm-hmm.
It cracked his brain open.
And that one felt totally earned to me.
The power of a secret handshake broke Doctor Strange magic. Yeah.
Maybe it's because Ned has the Doctor Strange powers. He can do it. He opened a portal, I think.
Maybe.
Didn't he?
Yep.
One time.
Yeah, he's dealt with magic before.
Yeah, maybe that little bit that he's done still kind of there in the back.
Could be.
Maybe that protected him a little bit.
But
although it did, I mean, Doctor Strange doesn't know who he is either, so I don't know. Maybe.
But I don't know. He could be more easily cracked open like Ned was.
Maybe, yeah. We don't know.
He needed some trigger, at least.
Maybe it's like, oh, his brain has some sort of vague understanding of how the magic actually works. So it's like it's easier to unravel.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like the audience in the theater reacted even more strongly when Ned remembered than when they thought MJ remembered.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that's why I felt like that one was really earned, because they had a very genuine emotional connection. Like they were always from the first movie, and I thought they did that so well in the first movie that they made them feel like real friends.
It brought my heart joy when they brought back the handshake, and I'm like, you know, when MJ's, who we think is MJ, is kissing him, and I'm like, okay, this feels, you know, it feels like a moment they're trying to create here. It feels kind of reminiscent of the first Spider-Man. She maybe knows by the kiss, like Kirsten Dunst did in Spider-Man 2. She's like, yeah, that's the guy. I can tell. But with Ned, when he does the handshake, I'm like, this is a genuine callback specific to these characters that I've seen this handshake for the last 10 years. Only these two guys could have done it. No other version of Spider-Man is this specific.
And it was believable with the muscle memory. Like they don't even have to spell that out, but that's what came to mind. I'm like, of course he would know how to do it. They do it by reflex and instinct all the time.
And I love how Peter looked like he was going to say something. He went up and you could tell he was thinking about how to handle this. And then he just went for the fist bump. And it was the way the camera held on it so slowly, and they did it and slowly sped up.
Yeah, I thought that was executed very well.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how that scene was going to go when he walked in, and I was like, I think that was something this movie did really well, is it had a lot of things that I didn't necessarily see coming. Some things were a little bit more predictable, but some things I was like, oh, it caught me off guard with a lot of things. They made a lot of interesting choices, and I think, like, I wouldn't say they necessarily took a lot of risks, but they made interesting choices that I didn't see coming, and I don't know. I just liked it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to MJ for a sec, I mean, I guess there is a possibility they could get back together eventually.
I think it's still there. It just seems like it'll be more of a... you can already see it, that she's like... just him swinging her home, even though she just basically like destroyed him. He's still like, yeah, I'll swing you home. Even in that scene, you can tell, like they focused in on her face during that moment, and you're like, she's obviously thinking about something. This is still clicking in.
It's still,
and I think it's more of a needing time to process.
Even when she saw Peter at the party originally, she could tell there was something about this guy.
She had interest in him. And she had interest in him when she was learning about Spider-Man from behind the curtain.
Yeah, there is still a chemistry there. But I did love the scene when she said, I don't love you. Because that's both a subversion of expectations, and it feels, once again, classic Spider-Man. He has this, he has the grand speech and gets rejected stone cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then has to swing her back home for good measure.
Yeah. No, I think it won't be...
not the next movie, probably.
Maybe. It could be.
It depends how they want to go with it.
I think... How long did it take them in the first three movies? Where was it? By the third movie they were dating?
I think they were dating by the end of the second. They had their first kiss by the end of number 2.
See, that's what I mean, is that's like kind of the length that their relationship took to get to where they were.
He wasn't even interested in her in the first one.
Exactly. That's what I mean, is like she was kind of in like, I think they just met her, did they not?
He met her in detention.
They were barely like friends.
Yeah. She was just the weird girl in detention that he met. And yeah.
So that's why if this was the first movie that she kind of met him and started their relationship.
But the second one was like, oh, we're going to Europe together and all these creatures, and he has
That's why I could see potential that it's the end of the next movie. But also they might throw a wild card in there, which could be interesting, as they could be like, here's a different love interest, but then she could be like catching feelings as well, like, oh, and that would be like
Spider-Man,
classic Spider-Man.
Yep, that would as well. I want Black Cat. I've been saying forever, I want Felicia Hardy. We've gotten Gwen Stacy. I've seen that, but I haven't seen a Black Cat dynamic.
I don't know if Gwen Stacy would work with this character anymore. I don't know if that dynamic would work.
I feel like Gwen Stacy would work if this was a couple years ago and they did a college Spider-Man.
Yes.
But they skipped over
past college.
They skipped over the college years. She's like his high school college girlfriend.
Mm.
So yeah, it's too late for Gwen Stacy. But I think Felicia Hardy is like a good adult relationship. That he's got like the flirty banter with the cat burglar.
Yeah, I think that could work pretty good.
Like, can you imagine, I don't know, first scene of number 5, he stops a cat burglar and they have like some rooftop encounter and she outsmarts him.
Yeah, and then, but that would be exactly how a Spider-Man comic would go, is that he's finally like moving on, getting interested in somebody else, and then MJ's like, I do want to try again with you, and then he's like, well,
he probably also would have to, like, I don't know, somebody takes an interest in him for his science again, so he's getting introduced to higher society, and then he'll end up finding Felicia Hardy. And then meanwhile, MJ, because I think she was more of a high society girl, isn't she? Like, her dad got rich off the burglaring.
I'm having a hard time remembering. You put me on the spot.
I think she might be rich, but I don't remember.
Is that it? I'm probably getting her mixed up with Catwoman.
They're
too similar.
Catwoman's like poor cat lady.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Felicia's rich, I think. Maybe.
I don't remember why she's a burglar, though. I think she just does it for fun.
It's just for fun. Just because I can.
Yeah. She's just a
If I ever get in trouble, Daddy will bail me out.
And he's also a cat burglar. I think originally he was the Black Cat, was her father. Yeah, so I'm going to make this declaration because I don't think I've ever made it on the podcast, but Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. I said it. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably. I think I have to agree with you. They've done really well with him. I mean, there's a reason he's made it to a 4th movie.
And he was in 3 Avengers team up situations.
You know what? Especially since
he's done 7 movies. Robert Downey Jr. did like 8 movies. He's done nearly as many movies as Robert Downey Jr. did as Iron Man.
That's true.
4 solo movies. None of the original Avengers got 4 solo movies.
No, they didn't really.
They all got 4 Avengers movies, but they only got 3 solos. Tom Holland was in 3 Avengers movies and 4 solos. And he's going to be in Secret Wars. And there's no sign of him slowing down either. He could go for a 5th, he could go for a 6th. This is like the definitive take on this character. I don't care what people say. Maybe he doesn't have the, objectively best movies out of all of them. Like, I'm always going to have a soft spot in my heart for Spider-Man 1 and 2, the Sam Raimi versions. But for me, this is the version of Spider-Man we saw grow up from a nerdy high school kid to a man finding his footing in the world, teaming up with other Avengers, learning to go from Iron Boy Jr. to Spider-Man.
Well, and they really let, like, in the 3rd movie, that was a big shift, that they let the drama in more. They let more drama scenes in, which they were...
It's aged with its audience.
Yeah.
When these movies came out, when Civil War came out, we were both in high school. And, we were a little older. We were like 17, 18. We were a little older than Peter Parker, who I think was a freshman in that first movie. But he was a high school kid with high school problems, and so were we when Tom Holland was introduced. 10 years on, he's a single guy living on his own, trying to get his priorities straight in a crazy world, and that's where we are. We're in our mid-20s and living that same life, a lot more boring than Spider-Man. But we have aged alongside this character more than any other version. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were both, I don't know, they felt older at the time. They were more like, oh yeah, they're the cool teenage kids. More aspirational than relatable at the time we watched them. You know, and I like a lot about their movies, but as far as Spider-Man being a relatable character, getting the widest emotional arc across the longest period of time, seeing Spider-Man go from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man all set in New York to go, you know, fighting Thanos with the Avengers in space. Tom,
I thought you were going to say from Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Because that's kind of the arc we went from.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And now he's going to space again. But we've seen Tom Holland do it all and find that best balance of the character.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the same movie. I think Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire, and Tobey Maguire did a better take on Peter Parker that I resonated with more. They had their two sides, but this whole movie is about balance, and Tom Holland has done the best balance on all of them. And he's a great actor on top of that. I think he gets better with every movie. His dramatic range is exceptional. He's very heavy-hitting in the emotional scenes. He can do the comedy. He can do the quips. He's done it all. He's shown me basically every side of Spider-Man that I've traditionally loved, whereas every other adaptation has been lacking in something. Oftentimes it was, you know, the connections to greater universe. Can you imagine Tobey Maguire going to space? No. Like, you're never going to see Spider-Man in those weird scenarios.
It doesn't work for the other two, the Spider-Man.
No, Tobey Maguire's never going to space, and I couldn't imagine Andrew Garfield
going to
space either.
I don't want to see that. I love Amazing Spider-Man, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, like I can't imagine them in a world that's more traditionally Spider-Man. They're great in their standalone worlds where Spider-Man's the only hero, but Tom Holland's the complete package.
Now I just need to see him take photos.
Yeah, just get him a job at the Daily Bugle, and that's basically all you need to do now. He's done everything else except been a photographer.
Mm.
He doesn't have a day job yet, and that's the only thing missing.
Pretty much. But he's got to go to space again, so.
You know, I'm gonna have a take here where I consider these movies to be like the Spider-Man version of Daniel Craig's James Bond, where that entire series, it took him 5 movies to become the James Bond that everybody knew.
Yeah, it basically, that is.
First, in Casino Royale, he had just gotten his 00 license, and he mocks all the traditional things, like martini shaken or stirred. Do I look like I give a damn? You know, he doesn't care about anything. And then by the 3rd movie, he's finally getting like Q and Moneypenny back, and they give him gadgets again. Like, oh, we're not doing the groundy gridded spy thing anymore. He's Bond who can have gadgets again and be a little more quippy. By the 4th one, we're bringing back Spectre and the network of international conspiracies, and it's getting a little bit weirder again. And the 5th one is like full-on supervillains and hidden layers, plotting world domination and Bond with his gadgets. And like by the 5th one, we're finally doing a James Bond movie. And the Tom Holland Spider-Man, basically the same thing. It's like, yeah, this is a guy in a rough Spider-Man structure in a Spider-Man suit. By the 4th one, he's recognizably Spider-Man. By the 5th one, he might have it all. He's got the suit, he's got the friends, he's got the emotional depth, meets the comedy tone. He just needs his job. And I think that's about it.
Maybe they could make a Tom Holland Spider-Man show that's just like identical to Spider-Man in color.
Yeah.
The objective best version of Spider-Man.
It's mostly just swinging. Last I remember. Last time I saw it, I'm like,
is same panels.
Last time I saw it, I'm like, is this whole show just swinging? It's not like I remember it as a kid.
Panels.
I didn't remember it being this padded when I was a kid.
Speaking of the swinging looks really good in this movie.
Yeah, I think this movie doubled down on posing. There's a lot of like slow-mo shots that are just comic panels, effectively. Which I love. That works very well.
Well, and the swinging was enjoyable because, the city looked nice.
It was a joyous environment. It actually looks fun when he's swinging. He's screaming for joy, jumping off buildings, doing acrobatics in the air. It just looked fun. And I also love the action as well, for the same reason, where it showed off Tom Holland's acrobatic skills, where a lot of it's filmed wide, and you see him sliding across the ground, and guys getting flung backwards on wires, and going between people's legs and flipping and jumping around. Like, there's a lot of acrobatics and stunt work in this movie I appreciate. That I feel like a lot of the other ones didn't have as much. They had him fighting CGI monsters more, or had these big scenarios. But I feel like this one was a lot more stunt heavy. Which, I mean, remember we said this was the director who filmed Shang-Chi, and that was more of a grounded martial arts movie.
That's true.
So I think this was the right guy for this take on Spider-Man. It's nearly like a martial arts movie with more acrobatics sometimes. Like even when he's fighting the tank, it's more acrobatic than usual.
No, I don't think he's 100% nailed it. I think it can still be improved.
Okay.
But I know that this is the right direction, that if they're going to switch directors or whatever they're doing, the next guy's got to stick to follow this in its trajectory and make it better.
I want to see this director come back.
I would like to see him do another one.
Because, for me, John Watts just got better with every movie. Like, I think nostalgic-wise, I enjoy Homecoming, but at the time they were coming out, I progressively liked them more and more. I haven't rewatched them in a while, so maybe my opinion would go down. But, I thought it was maybe controversial at the time that I liked Far From Home more than Homecoming, and I like No Way Home more than both of them. I think they got technically better made as they went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like this guy will do the same. He'll say, well, this is what I did last time, and I can improve on some areas.
No, I hope they stick with the same guy, because I do think
he's got a good thing going.
But what I'm saying is there is still room for improvement. Oh, yeah. But this is very clearly the right way to be doing Spider-Man. Like, this is...
He's a solo character who exists within the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, but keep him friendly neighborhood.
Small potatoes.
Small potatoes, New York. I don't need to see him have, tackle multiversal threats again, or, go to Europe. I'm like, keep him in New York. That was the whole second one. But I'm like, obviously, with all the characters he can run around into, just in New York, like it works perfectly well. Just keep him there. Keep him in the Big Apple. Everything in Marvel Universe comes to New York.
How about Spider-Man in the desert?
Sure. That's not New York, but it's fine. I want to see him pal around with the Fantastic Four next time.
Well, I think that's what you're getting.
That's what I want. I want Spider-Man 5 him to team up with Fantastic Four.
I thought you just said you wanted him to be...
They're based in New York.
But they don't handle friendly neighborhood stuff.
The Baxter Building is based right in New York.
Just ask him to be in the next Fantastic Four movie and then have Spider-Man's next solo movie back to Spider-Man stuff.
Okay, I can live with that.
That sound better?
That's fine.
I feel like that's probably the more proper direction.
Yeah. I didn't expect the Spider-Man X-Men crossover, though. I didn't see that come in this time.
No.
We didn't talk about Jean Grey at all, but we're already over time, so I don't...
It's too late. We have to do it now.
I'll keep it brief. I enjoyed overall the character that they created here, but when you called her Jean Grey, it immediately made me be like, did she just like kill a bunch of people?
Did she?
Well, the one I was thinking of specifically was
anybody.
The one I remember specifically was when she walked the old man out into traffic and then switched bodies.
Oh yeah.
And he just got bodied by that taxi. I'm like,
I don't think he died.
Well, they didn't show what happened to him, but it was
just it's a Spider-Man movie. Presume he didn't die. Okay. The only people who die are Uncle Ben.
Yeah, she did a lot of messed up stuff. And then, when she took over MJ's body and totally emotionally manipulated him. And even
blatantly, that was a low blow.
Yeah, he was like, that's too far.
No.
And then flings her body off the roof. I mean, she knew he would catch her, but it just felt like, ooh, what's this version of Jean Grey that's so emotionally manipulative and disregarding of people's autonomy and lives sometimes in the goal of her personal quest. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but it felt like at odds with the character I'm familiar with.
Really?
I mean, Phoenix is her when she's snapped. She's capable of great destruction, but that's not her default. Look, okay, what I know, and it can track because this is the backstory of Jean I'm familiar with, is that she was an unwanted child because she was a mutant and she had a lot of trouble as a kid and went through some traumatic experiences. And then Charles Xavier took her in and taught her to temper her naturally powerful abilities. Because he's like the only other telepath that's capable of keeping her in check, especially when she was a kid. So he was the one who kind of told Jean that, okay, you can rein it in, and I'll teach you how to do that. But she was never a threat on this scale before she joined the X-Men. She was just a scared kid with more power than she could handle.
I mean, she wasn't really a threat in this movie till they pushed her anyways.
And then she, froze an entire radius of New York.
And that's all Damage Control's problem. That was them. Okay. The Hulk didn't kill it. She didn't make the Hulk kill anybody in the building.
Yeah, she made the Punisher shoot people in the legs.
Yeah.
It wasn't kill shots.
There was no outright telling us that she killed anybody.
When she was in the room, she didn't have the stomach to seriously hurt people. It just felt a lot more aggressive and just strange for me. If you're calling this character Jean Grey.
Well, at the same time, this is the third iteration of Jean Grey, so are we going to have her be the same every single time? I don't think so.
No. I mean, to me, the original...
The first two were
basically what
copies of each other.
Yeah, the first one is the one I most picture. Yeah, that's... I think her name is Famke Janssen. That's the one I picture. Yeah, this is the Jean Grey I imagine, but this is a new take on it.
Yeah.
Just like Tom Holland was a new take.
We've had 3 different takes on Spider-Man that are all pretty unique. We've had 3 takes on Jean Grey, and 2 of them are almost identical. The third one's gotta be different.
Yep.
We're into the third take on Fantastic Four, and this is a very different take.
Third take? I mean,
yeah. Fan Four Stick, the original Fantastic Four one, and then
I forgot about Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, you try to forget about it, but you can't.
Yeah. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I just get my back up a little. It's not a criticism of this movie. It's just more of an adaptation thing where I'm like, Yeah,
She
okay.
didn't outright murder people. I see a course for her to channel it in.
Now, what I will say about that is what she did in this movie lays a pretty clear groundwork for why people hate mutants.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's
that's
not
true.
she's not just like somebody with science run amok. She's like born this powerful and
So,
caused a great deal of harm because she had an emotional breakdown and was trying to kill the head of a major US governmental institution like damage control while she froze an entire section of New York and then got away with it.
and then they had the TV broadcast, the news broadcast about Hulk. They called him a mutant, did they not?
I don't remember that.
Either way, he's a mutated freak, okay? But they were talking about how like
Yeah.
it was like the question of, oh, is it safe to actually have him around after this or whatever they said. Something, it was very brief.
Yeah.
But that also might be set up because if
And
they're like,
also-
oh, that was Jean Grey, so it's not actually Hulk's fault. So in the public conscious, they'll be like, wow, so this guy's just allowed to get away with doing this, and he goes back to what?
And also Peter
Being free?
Parker invented an entire tool for suppressing the natural DNA of people, which going forward that can easily be an X-Men plot line of, oh, mutants are seen as a threat now and they're going to try and suppress us. They were flying under the radar before, but now I think Ms. Marvel had interactions with mutants in her show as well. You watched that, I didn't. But there was
yes,
mutants were mentioned in that show.
I think they avoided the wording of mutants because they still didn't own it yet.
Right.
But it was pretty obvious what they were doing.
So mutants have been flying under the radar for a while, but now they're starting to get to a point where the government can't ignore them anymore. And then you're going to start getting the classic X-Men debates of, all right, the Avengers are one thing where they're literal gods or they got their powers by science or by accident, but the people who are born this powerful and we have the ability and a tool to suppress them now, maybe we should for the good of the rest of us normals. Like the
So
Avengers.
is that where they're going? That
Even think
we're
about-
gonna have
think
the
about-
X-Men again.
And you could tie this in pretty well too, because this is a post-Civil War world. The registration side won. The new Avengers are a government-sanctioned team now.
Oh yeah.
And everybody else are basically glorified vigilantes.
That's true.
Spider-Man's working with the cops, but even the cop was like, when he was going out of control, she said, well, I can't protect you that much longer. Spider-Man only exists for public goodwill. And guys like Thor and Hulk only exist because they can't stop
tell
them.
them not to.
Yeah.
All right, you're a little too powerful. We can't really tell you what to do.
But the Thunderbolts / New Avengers, they're government sanctioned. And I think Sam Wilson has an Avengers team as well, but they're not sanctioned.
No.
And I feel like there's a thing there. I didn't watch Brave New World.
No, the thing's in Fantastic Four.
Yes, he is.
Hey, you started with a terrible
Yeah.
pun. Now it's my turn. We're gonna end with me on a terrible pun. Unless you got some more to say.
Just carrying on that point of in a post-Civil War world where the government has more oversight over heroes than ever, and we're introducing mutants into the conversation, it's a pretty natural segue into classic X-Men plot lines of mutant rights in a world like this with so much oversight. I mean, heck, this trail goes all the way back to Captain America Winter Soldier, where there's that conversation where he has with Nick Fury, where Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. are having all these security, there's all this, what's the word I'm looking for? Invasive security procedures in the name of national defense. And Captain America's like, this isn't freedom. This is, yeah. I don't remember the line now, but it is.
I know he was very
anti-surveillance, anti-government surveillance, anti-government oversight. And in the MCU, government oversight has only ballooned and gotten more control since then. And now you're going to throw a whole subspecies of human into the mix. Some of whom don't look human. You got guys like Beast running around. And maybe they weren't around as much before. So the world is changing. There's a lot of potential. This movie sets up a lot of good stuff. For where Marvel could go.
Is the MCU back?
Spider-Man's back. I mean, they never left. Spider-Man's always been consistent.
Spider-Man's been good. The MCU is not back.
You know what? If Doomsday lands, I'll be pretty hopeful. I saw people online talking about this, and I do have to say, I will agree with them on the defensive side of they have been on a good streak the last couple years. Let me look up Marvel movies in the 2020s.
Thunderbolts was pretty good.
All right,
Spider-Man No Way Home was good.
Yeah, let's do Marvel Cinematic Universe films. So in phase...
Thor Love and Thunder was good. No.
So in phase 5, they had Quantumania, which...
Oh boy.
No, thanks. Guardians Volume 3, really good. The Marvels, I didn't watch it, but you didn't.
It's better than people say. It's not that bad, actually.
It's overhated. Deadpool and Wolverine is the exact opposite effect, where people loved it and now they don't like it as much, but I still love it. Because it gave me what I wanted. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds bantering and some X-Men nostalgia. And it's a fine plot. I loved it. Brave New World, didn't watch it. Thunderbolts is pretty good. Fantastic Four, also decent. Spider-Man. So since 2023, they've only put out a couple of bad movies. And even before that, Shang-Chi, No Way Home, You Like Multiverse of Madness, Wakanda Forever is okay. It's like every other movie is okay.
Oh my god, are they Nintendo?
Yeah.
Every other one. So, okay, so I'm right to not go see, what's it called? Doomsday?
Doomsday.
So I don't have to go see Doomsday because it's the every other one, so this will be the bad one.
But Secret Wars
will be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're figuring out the pattern. So I'm not going to see Doomsday, I'm going to see Dune instead.
You'll see Secret Wars next year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what's our final rankings here?
I should have thought about this.
All right, I'll buy you time. So, look, as a critic, I have my issues with this movie. If I didn't love the IP from childhood, I might bump it down a ranking. But I'm calling it must-see because I love Spider-Man. This is exactly what I want from a Spider-Man movie. It's great action, great characters, great drama. Hits me with the nostalgic feeling without being nostalgia bait. It's as good as I could hope for a live-action Spider-Man movie to be in 2026. So I'm saying it's must-see. For this genre, for this character, I couldn't ask for much better.
Yeah, no, I think I've got a pretty solid idea. I'm going to say it's good. My ranking system is pretty much goes between...
Bad, good,
like
mid.
Bad, it has to be actually be like bad, and mid-tier garbage, it's just like, yeah, whatever, it's passable, and, you know, you could skip it, you could watch it, and it's all right. It's not bad entertainment. But this is actually good.
Like, word of warning, you might not want to jump into this one. Watch the first 3 or it's not going to land as well.
I think you could get away with it. I think it's pretty well done without everything else, considering they showed you all the backstory anyways.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is that I have a hard time when movies are padded for length, unless it ends up being outright boring, it doesn't really affect my ranking in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, yes, if you've got so much bloat in the movie that it actually makes me bored, yeah, now it's gonna hurt your score.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't. I mean,
it's a
I have my problems with the padding, but whatever.
At the end of the day, it's a well-made action movie, and it made me feel things, and it was technically pretty well done, and emotional investment on top of that brings it to a higher ranking for me. So that's my judging and justification. So that's Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that'll conclude our episode today on Close Up.
A very long one.
Not as long as the Odyssey.
Was it?
No, it's about as long as the Odyssey. Sorry, unless you enjoyed it, because I think I enjoyed this conversation. Good flow.
We got some solid stuff here.
Yeah. So where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at jchurchtpm.
And you can find me on Instagram at ThoughtPlane Media, and everything else I do on thoughtplane.ca. There's a lot on there for free you will enjoy, if you like this, that is. If not, you didn't get this far. So,
for the one person who's still watching,
watch others. Everything else is like this.
Please. We look at the numbers and then we need this. If one person watches, it validates it.
Pretty please. All right, that's it. All right, till next time.